channel. I'm here to talk to you about the application process for the Disney College Program. I have applied 4 times for the Disney College Program, so I feel like I know a decent amount about the application process and the different steps that you have to go through to try to get accepted. So I'm going to talk to you about those today. If you have any questions about the application process that I don't get to in this video, just feel free to comment down below and I will try to get to all those questions as soon as possible. So the application process starts out by you filling out the application on the college program website. So you go in and you start your application, and what it asks for first is your basic information. So like your name, your middle initial, your last name, your street address, basically everything like personal information. And then your next step is to fill out your education. So you fill out your education, and then your next one is your work and volunteer experience. Then you fill all that out. And for that, you have to put your responsibilities and skills. So make sure you can tell which ones are your responsibilities, which one are your skills, and make sure that you put a decent amount of both in each. I think I tended to put a 4 to 6 of each in each box, just so it looked like I had a decent amount. And what I did for writing out my responsibilities and skills for each work experience or volunteer experience that I listed was that I looked at the roles, my preferred roles, and the roles, and my other roles as well I looked at. And so I laid all of had all of their their job descriptions open on my computer. I actually printed a couple out, so that's why I laid them all out too. And I went through and looked at the keywords that kept repeating. And so I made sure that I tried to put those keywords into my application just so maybe it would help me a little bit. And the last time I applied, the 4th time, it did because I finally got accepted. So you just got to keep tweaking your application here and there a little bit, and that's what I did. And so I cut a lot more of the Disney words my last time around into my application, and I think it helped a lot. And by Disney words, I mean like guests, customer service, cash handling, standing for long periods of time, working in outdoors, like those type of phrases that tend to be on the job descriptions of the roles. I added a lot of those back into my application and switched some things and tweaked it so it's kind of like the Disney job descriptions. And I feel like that really helped, but that's just my personal preference. It could be different for somebody else in their application process, but I think it really helped mine. So I think that was key for mine, was to list the Disney words in my application. So the next part of the application is to put if you know somebody that referred you for the Disney College Program, if you're legal to work in the United States, and if you're willing to work, I think, weekends and holidays on the program. And then after that, you choose, or they go through and you get to choose, okay, do you want to apply for Disneyland? So then you click yes or no, and you go through and you apply for Disneyland. If you choose no, then it takes you to Disney World. If you say yes, then you fill out the Disneyland application. And with that application, you go through and fill out the Disneyland role selection. So for the role selections are different for both. And I just applied for Disney World, so I don't know a lot about the Disneyland role selection, but you can find them on the Disney College Program website, and you go through and you rank them of high interest, low, moderate interest, and low interest. And you place what you feel like in all of them, or no interest. And there's no interest as well, so you can put no interest in any role that you don't feel like you'd be good at, and Disney will consider you for all roles that you put interest in. So if you put low interest in custodial, you will be considered for custodial. So make sure you remember that when you're filling out the application, that if you really you can't handle working custodial and having to clean up stuff, especially stuff from other people, then maybe you should put no interest, because it won't hurt you in the application program, and you don't want to be stuck in a role in that you don't care for. So after you fill out the Disneyland, if you do the Disneyland, or if you don't do the Disneyland, you'll go to Disney World. So then you fill out the Disney World application. Again, it's similar where you click like, yes, I want to apply for Disney World, or no, you just choose one. And so then you go through and you rank the roles again. So there are over 20 roles that you can rank for Disney World. And you do high interest, moderate interest, low interest, and no interest. And again, it's the same. If you put no interest in a role, you won't be considered for it. If you put low interest in any role, you will be considered for it. So remember that with filling out the application. But with Disney World, what they do is they pull the 4 most needed roles, I would say, and they put them at the top. And it's quick service food and beverage, custodial, lifeguard, and I can't remember the 4th one. But you rank those first if you have interest in them, and then you go and fill out the rest of the roles. So like front desk, attractions, merchandise, watercraft, everything else like that. So they try to separate them from the 4 most popular roles that are needed, and then the rest of the other roles that they're needed but they're not like high priority. So then you fill out that portion of it, and then after you fill out that portion, you go into I think reviewing your application before you actually submit it. So what happens after you fill out the application is it basically goes into a funnel of a computer system with other applicants' applications. And so what you do is you will either be pulled out right away. If you are pulled out right away, bravo to you. That means the computer system saw something immediately in you and wants to further your application process. If you didn't get pulled out right away, that's okay. I was not pulled out right away for all 4 applications. So what happens then is you're put into what they have different terminologies. Applied, submission was one, and I think there was another word that they call it. I think nowadays it's called applied. And what that means is your application has successfully been submitted, and you are just waiting for the computer system or a Disney recruiter to review your application to see if you move on in the application process or not, which can be a long waiting game. Let me put it to you. The first 3 times I applied for the Disney College program, I applied the very first day the applications dropped, and I waited till the very last day application that you could hear anything. So I waited a span of 6 months to hear if I got in or if I was able to move on in the application process or not. So it is a long, drilling process. So I am here for you, all you applied people. I know how hard it is and how you want to be moving on or not, or hear something, and just, I know, trust me, I know the story. So if once you sit in that applied wave, you'll either hear right away, or not right away, but a couple weeks later if you get moved out, or you'll be sitting there till the end. If you hear a couple weeks later, what'll happen is you'll get an email and it'll say, thank you for applying for the Disney College program. And you'll look in your email and you'll be like, I just got this email when I applied. And you'll be like, what is happening? And if once you wait an hour or 2 later, you'll get an email saying, congratulations, you need, or not congratulations. It'll say like, you have next steps to complete, I think is what they say. And so you'll complete those next steps, which that next step is a web interview. So if you get a web interview, congratulations, the stressful part begins of your application process. If you don't hear anything from the time for a long period of time and you're waiting, what will mostly likely happen is you'll either be sitting there until the last day, or you'll get pulled out later and on a wait list, which sucks. What'll happen is you could hear no longer in consideration. What that means is Disney just can't accommodate everybody for this program. There are so many people worldwide applying for this program. Disney only accepts like 2,000 people, and over 5,000 people apply for this program. So it just means Disney does not have room for you in their program this year. That's it. Nothing else is wrong about it. So what you will do is you'll just hear no longer in consideration. What you do after is you will get your application. You can find a copy of it on the Disney College program on your account. Or what I did is I actually took pictures before I submitted my application, and I had every picture of my application with me when I applied the second time to make sure I can improve my application the second time or the third time or